Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I'm here to review the last episode of WandaVision, the season finale, episode 9, simply titled The Series Finale. Now, this episode was the subject of a lot of discussion over the week. And I hadn't really talked about it. I didn't make a lot of videos. Well, I had a lot of things on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you know, same thing, CGM Show on Twitter, CGM Show on, most places. You would know that I've had my opinions. Now, there has been swirling conversations about, just about, what's the word I'm looking for? Expectations and fan theories in general. There's been a lot of conversations about how the show is going to, how people are too attached to their own theories, too attached to their own desires, too attached to their own things that they've heard. Like, there are too many people attached to different things. Like, I love the Den of Nerds, but like everything they fucking talked about was completely fucking wrong. Like it's so crazy. Like, I'm just like, Den of Nerds, they just kept going on and on. People keep going on and on about mutants, going on and on about Mephisto, going on and on about Nightmare, going on and on about Wanda becoming this huge villain, which she may or may not still become, but by the end of the show, she was not. On and on about all these different things. On and on about Quicksilver being from the multiverse, about the twins are going to survive this, about how Vision is going to survive. Like, there's so many theories on and on about how Dottie is a witch, about how Agatha is working for someone, about how there's just all kinds of things. Just people just going on and on about how this is gonna be, what's the word I'm looking for? This is gonna completely blow the doors open on the multiverse. And, most of all those things were completely wrong. And it feels like, this is even before the show, the last episode even came out. The director, I think his name's Matt Schaefer, I think that's his name, he was talking about how, the ending was, going to be disappointing to some people. This is just of the quote, that the ending will be disappointing to some people who have all these crazy theories out there that are amazing theories and amazing ideas, but they're not the ideas and stuff they're doing. That the ending for this will be poignant, that it will be for the characters, it will be a wrap-up, it'll be a finality, it will be the ending for Wanda, for her grief, for the journey she's been on, and it'll be the logical ending, and then in some parts it will be a predictable ending, but it'll be the logical ending, the ending for this character, the actual perfect ending for this character. And that's what this last episode was. This last episode was all of that. There was no major, massive shocker/surprisers. It was exactly what the director said it was going to be. It was what the character needed. This entire story was about Wanda and was about the relationship between Wanda and Vision, and about Wanda in particular finally being able to get over her grief, getting over her past traumas, or not maybe even getting over them, but acknowledging them and trying to finally heal instead of just kind of doing a patch job. It's like, it's kind of like Wanda was just like a wounded warrior or something, and it's a wounded warrior doing a big campaign, but instead of just, taking some time to heal up, rest up and heal, she just kept pushing forward and kept pushing forward, ignoring her wounds, and it just kept getting worse, and the wounds just getting worse and worse and worse, and eventually it would have killed her. And finally, but the show itself is about her finally coming to terms with, I need to rest, I need to acknowledge my pain, I need to accept what is reality and stop ignoring it or pushing forward or pushing it down, because clearly that is not working. And clearly an accident, and I subconsciously did this to this whole town. And that's what the whole show has been about, was Wanda overcoming her grief. That's why I never believed she would become a villain like so many other people did, because I'm like, well, then there wouldn't be no point of the show, except because she's already off the deep end. You know what I mean? Like, there would be no point of watching a nine episode, 30-minute, 6-hour show about her becoming a villain, going even further off the deep end than already being as far off the deep end, you know what I mean? The whole story is about her finally facing that. And that's what it was. It was her in the form of Agatha in particular, in the form of Agatha, in the form of White Vision. It was all about that. Meanwhile, it answered a ton of other questions. First of all, it confirms that that is not X-Men's Quicksilver from the Fox universe, that this was just the MCU casting Evan Peters as a fun nod to the X-Men comic book stuff, and that we kind of blew out, and that the fans themselves took that and just jacked it up to a next level proportions. Because now that you sit back and think about it, when you really sit back and think about it, like, the reason that we believed that Evan Peters' Quicksilver was going to be the one from Fox, think about it this way. If you did not know what the next movies were in the MCU, if they didn't announce their slate, if they didn't show you their slate, if you didn't know about Multiverse of Madness, if you didn't know Elizabeth Olsen was going to be in that, and you didn't know about Multiverse of Madness, and you didn't know about this whole, multiverse aspect, you would have never thought, and I truly believe this, you would have never thought that that was the X-Men Quicksilver. It's very interesting how that Quicksilver got such a different reaction than J. Jonah Jameson did. J.K. Simmons coming back to play J. Jonah Jameson. Because J.K. Simmons isn't the same J. Jonah Jameson from the Sam Raimi movies. He's a completely different J. Jonah Jameson. But no one's talking about multiverse stuff, because when that had happened, because when that Spider-Man movie had came out, we really didn't know about the Multiverse of Madness, so no one was jumping to those kind of conclusions. And like I said, I think that, I see a very mixed reaction. Well, okay. You know what? Not a very mixed reaction. It's mostly positive. It's mostly positive. I haven't really seen any, super duper negative, super duper negative. I've seen some negative, but it's mostly positive, mostly emotional, which makes sense because the story was emotional. But, like I said, that was never going to be Evan Peters, was never going to be that Quicksilver. In fact, he kind of confirmed it on Twitter not that long ago, earlier today. And, granted, I was wrong because I thought Evan Peters was going to be Chthon. I made a whole video about it. I thought it was going to be Chthon. But I'm not so attached to that idea that I can't go, oh, I guess I was wrong. You see? It's that fucking easy. But anyways, this episode was so fun. It starts off with, right when it leaves off, with Agatha Harkness got her magic wrapped around the twins' neck. Wanda's hitting her with magic. It turns out Agatha was what was referenced in episode 6, I believe. It was so long ago, man. The show just flew by, it feels like. Episode 6, the Halloween episode, the Snack on Yo Magic episode, I believe it was referencing to Agatha, who was snacking on Wanda's magic. She came here. It's pretty much laid out in front of you, because there's still people I don't know, maybe Agatha's here No. Agatha's here to take Wanda's power. She's here to take her power. She felt a powerful witch, and she wanted to come and take it. Take that power for herself. The same way she did to her mom and her old coven back in the Salem days, in the flashback of last episode. But this time it did not go that way. Wanda's throwing power at her. It takes Wanda a minute to realize that Agatha's draining her. But you kind of see Wanda's hand kind of pruning up, kind of become old, it's like the life is being drained out of it. And Agatha's all like, "You can't hit me. You just give me your power." And Wanda hits her with the car. And Wanda goes over there, and there's the boots there, kind of like the Wicked Witch of the I think it was the West in the I think it was the Wicked Witch of the West. Was it that? I think it was that. In Wizard of Oz, who got hit with the house and had just the boots were out, so it's kind of a harkens back to that. All of a sudden, White Vision lands. There's this moment where you think maybe he remembers her, and then he starts crushing her head. He gets taken out by regular Vision from, I would just say Hex Vision, and they have an awesome standoff battle where she's taking on Agatha and Vision's taking on other Vision. Vision and White Vision are basically Superman in it, because they collide. They do the Superman thing, flapping capes, boom, smack into each other, a little shockwave, and they fly up in the air. It's it's a Superman thing. It looked cool. It looked cool. CGI on this looked great, by the way. CGI on Vision and the fight they were having was awesome. They're having a nice little banter. Seems like White Vision is just my protocol is to kill you, and he's like, okay, nah. I don't think we're gonna be able to talk this out. Meanwhile, Jimmy Woo's talking to Hayward, and Hayward's just proving to be even more of an asshole. There's a whole sect of people on YouTube and whatnot. We're like, oh, Hayward's not that bad. He's not that bad. He's a dude doing what he thinks is best. But it becomes pretty clear, by the way, that Hayward is breaking all kinds of laws. That he's breaking all kinds of laws in the Sokovia Accords. He's breaking all kinds of laws. He's doctoring footage. He plans on making it seem like he plans on killing Wanda. No, he's not gonna kill any of the innocent people, but he plans on killing Wanda and then like having like, what's the word? Like framing Wanda, oh, well, none of this was real. This isn't the real Vision's body. Like, some weird shit like that. Because he wants to keep the whole Vision kill. So, that pretty much establishes that the whole him creating Vision is illegal. He shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't have been able to do that anyways. He undercut a bunch of people to get this project going. Because he wants to keep this as hush-hush as possible. To the point where, he wants to just frame Wanda and be like, whoever White Vision kills in there, he's like, oh, well, it was just Wanda's fault. We're going to just say it was Wanda. So, like, Hayward's full on. He's a dick. He's an asshole. Well, we already knew that. And Jimmy uses his close-up magic skills to get a phone and a paperclip. Break out, call Quantico, call his boys at the FBI, say, there's some shit going down over here. Get over here fast. They come over. Meanwhile, Agatha reveals something that is very important to me. There was a commenter a while ago, weeks ago, who commented on my canon video that I made about Marvel TV not being canon. And he had this whole drawn out tangent about why it is. And you know what? I didn't really want to give it too much attention because I was like, you know what? You believe Marvel TV is canon, I'll let you live in that fairy tale world. But this right here is almost definitive proof that Marvel TV isn't canon. There was an entire season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. dedicated to the Darkhold. Guess what? The book Agatha's carrying is the real Darkhold, motherfucker. Which means that shit never happened. Which means Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ain't fucking canon. You know why? Because it's a totally different freaking book that does totally different things. That the pages aren't even the same. Like, the pages aren't even the same. Now, I know someone's gonna, this is the part where someone's gonna try to, like, stretch it, like, try to, like, really fucking, like, they're gonna try to fucking Mr. Fantastic stretch this to be like, well, maybe it's a Darkhold from an alternate dimension, so it's no! It's not. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all of Marvel TV is not fucking canon. They don't care. They never cared. Feige doesn't care. It ain't canon. He's got another Darkhold. When Charlie Cox does show up, if he shows up, because now I'm doubting every fucking rumor that comes out, because there was a whole bunch of people telling me that Doctor Strange is supposed to show up at the end of this. But if Charlie Cox does show up in Spider-Man 2, he is not going to be the Netflix Charlie Cox. He is going to be Charlie Cox playing Daredevil, playing a brand new Daredevil. Complete, fresh out the box Daredevil, just happens to be that same actor. Just for you guys. That's it. And the Darkhold reveal pretty much put the nail in that. No, none of that shit's canon. Anyway, awesome to see the Darkhold. I will say, I wish the Darkhold, like, I do like the thicker Darkholds. Usually Darkhold's a pretty thick book, but this book's like, not that small, you know. It's still got some size. It's still got some, it's about like 20, 30 pages. But like, usually the Darkhold's like 100 pages, you know. It's like a thick book. But you know what? That's okay. That's all right. But yeah, Agatha reveals that Wanda is so powerful. The Scarlet Witch is so powerful that she is more powerful than the goddamn Sorcerer Supreme himself. Now, a lot of people are asking, where is Doctor Strange? A lot of people are asking that. And I don't know the answer to that. It's one of those things where WandaVision is a part one. You gotta understand. Like, WandaVision is a part one to a 3-part story. Or a 2-part story, depending on how much it's tied into Spider-Man Far From Home, which I'm actually starting to doubt that Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be so tied in. It's going to be tied in, but not like as much as people think. But WandaVision is part one to a bigger story. It's the prelude, almost. It's like a prelude with a purpose. It's like the best prelude ever to Multiverse of Madness. Where you're going to see where it go, Multiverse of Madness will answer where the hell Doctor Strange was during these events. Because I just highly doubt, because the MCU has been pretty smart about that lately. It was suspicious by his absence, by his not mentioning that he wasn't here. So it just really feels like there has to be a reason. There's going to be a good reason. I guarantee you there's going to be some shit like he's not even in this dimension as this shit's going down. So he's like, I don't even know what's going on. Because that's what happens in the comics. Like, that is Doctor Strange comic book 101. Most of the time when the big shit's going down, like a lot of the times, he's like off in another fucking realm of existence battling a godlike one-eyed being, and like he'll just come back and be like, so what the fuck I missed? Like a lot of times that's how it goes down, because Doctor Strange is battling on an entirely different playing field, on an entirely different like spectrum than this normal than shit going on Earth, and sometimes he's just not around for that shit. Now, anyways, now the show keeps going, the show keeps going, the show keeps going, and at a certain point, Agatha tells Wanda, like, no, you are imprisoning these people. She wakes all the people up. The people start freaking out on her. One girl, Dottie, starts asking her to let her daughter go. We find out that is what happens when the kids aren't in front of us. They're all in their bed in a, like, stasis kind of thing where they're fine, they're healthy and fine. They can't move or wake up. And, the parent, but, like, so we discover that. Wanda, feeling bad, starts to open the bubble up, starts to try to like break the bubble down. But unfortunately for her, turns out that the kids and Vision are connected to the bubble, which I think a lot of us already knew, and they start to disappear. Real cool too, like they're just digitizingly disappearing piece by piece. Wanda decides to put the bubble back up, starts fighting again. That they reunite. They have like they had an Incredibles moment. It was totally an Incredibles stance, by the way, with the two kids and the two parents. Then Hayward comes in the bubble because of the gap that was opened up. They take on Monica. Monica, meanwhile, finds a way to get out of fake Pietro's lair. It turns out he was getting his power from this necklace she put on him. As soon as she took the necklace off, he turned back into a goofy fucking dude. Ralph, turns out. He's Ralph. That's who Ralph is. So, but yeah, like that was. Oh, I thought I heard something, but that happened. Turns out Monica's abilities they're really gonna play up the spectrum thing, because her eyes turned yellow instead of that other color that it turned, and her body becomes like this weird yellow glowy thing when the cops when Hayward tries to shoot the kids, and the bullets go inside of her and kind of come through slowly and hit the ground. So, like I said, there's a lot of good superhero stuff. The best bits are definitely Wanda trying to run her hex. Old school, Age of Ultron. Haven't seen her do this in a very long time. That whole wiggly thing where she tries to fuck with your mind. She tried to do that to Agatha. Fortunately, it didn't work out for her because, as Agatha said, which I like, and I hope this is a concept that is played up in the MCU more, you got the power, but you don't got the knowledge. Power don't really mean too much if you don't know how to fucking use it. And she twists that fucking spell on her in a goddamn heartbeat. But unfortunately for her, Agatha, she taught Scarlet Witch a little. She's been schooling Scarlet Witch a little too fucking closely, because she was listening to some of those lessons. Next thing you know, and Vision is fighting other Vision, but Vision manages to convince other Vision that he is Vision. They have this tit for tat, this conversation about this boat that was taken apart, this ancient boat that was like every few years they have to replace one of the a piece of the plank and whatnot. And he was having this a piece of the plank, but they take that plank. But if you took the pieces of the plank that they're replacing it and built another ship with it, would that be the original ship? Or would the ship that's having the pieces replaced be the original ship? And they came to the conclusion that neither one of them, they would both be the original ship, and neither one of them would be the original ship at the same time, which is what they are. They're both Vision, but neither one of them are the original Vision, but they are both Vision at the same time, which means that the parameters for why he should kill Vision are completely off. That throws Vision off. He awakens some memories in him. Vision takes off. He will be back, but this is a completely different Vision who is not that. But it's nice to know that Paul Bettany is still going to have some work. Because good Lord, that guy's always talking like he's about to get fired. Anywho, that cheeky bastard said an actor he always wanted to perform with and he has chemistry with. Bastard. Anywho. Then we get to the final thing with Agatha and Wanda going at it in the air. And it looks like Wanda is throwing Blast at her willy-nilly. Looks like it's bad. She's missing Blast. Blast are going all the way out to the edges of the fucking, the force feet, the edges of the hex. And she's missing. And Agatha takes all her power. Wanda's like all wrinkly and stuff. Then Agatha's about to try to hit Wanda with a spell. It doesn't work. Guess what? Wanda was listening to her in episode 8 when she told her about the runes. The witch who casts the runes is the only witch who can use her magic within the runes. Wanda casts runes on the entire fucking hex, which means inside of this hex she can't cast magic. Wanda sucks all the energy out of her, and her energy back, and all of Agatha's fucking power. She and all of a sudden her comic book accurate costume comes up, this beautiful fucking like dress type like fucking pants. Like, it was beautiful with the headpiece. I thought it was great. The sleeveless thing was awesome. I really do. I never realized how much I like a sleeveless costume of a superhero until Wanda. I was like, damn, sleeveless is cool. But anyways, that was great. She ended up imprisoning Agatha and the characters that she played in the show, so she's the nosy neighbor. Agatha will clearly be back, which is great for Catherine Hahn. And we have this sad moment where we realization that she's gonna have to let these kids and Vision go, which was gonna always be the case. She lets Vision and the kids go. It's a sad story. It's a sad ending. Her and Vision are having a heart to heart as the bubble slowly closes. Westview slowly becomes what it used to be. They tuck their kids in the bed. It was really reminiscent of some Titanic shit. Really, one of the saddest scenes in Titanic. Fuck Jack. Fuck Jack, fuck Rose. The saddest scene in Titanic for me is those two parents who were tucking their kids into the bed because they knew their kids weren't going to be able to make it out. So they wanted to they were hoping their kids can go to sleep so at least they would die in their sleep. Like, that got me, and that's kind of what they were doing here. And, eventually the bubble closes. They have this heart-to-heart, this really emotional, well-acted, fantastically acted by Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, and the bubble closes. And she's back in her clothes, and the house is gone. There's nothing there. Scarlet Witch puts her hood on. She walks through in shame as the townspeople now let out are, saying things to her. Her and Monica have a heart-to-heart. She flies off in her comic book accurate costume, and that was the end. Now, there are two post-credit scenes. There's a credit scene at the end of the credits and the mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene sets up Cap Marvel 2. The post-credit scene sets up the multiverse of madness with Wanda still screwing with the Darkhold book and seemingly reading pages that she shouldn't be reading, so she might unleash something from there. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. I loved the episode. I thought it was a great finale. Not quite as good as, I'd say, the Mandalorian's finale, but you know what? But it actually probably is more potent because I think it got to the heart of the character better. I love the finale. I'd give the finale a 9, man. I'd give it a 9. I really had a great time with it. 9 out of 10. Great show. If I had to give the show a rating, which maybe I'll do another separate video and get the entire show rating, I'd have to give the entire show a 9.5, man. Like maybe a 9.5, a 9. Like, for just creativity and just originality and just unique and just fun and just interesting and the character and the acting, the design, the detail. It was just too fucking good, dude. Like, I loved it. Loved WandaVision. I'm sad that it's ending, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier's up next. Fucking just keep getting fed, don't I? Just fucking keep getting fed. I will probably be having a review for Raya and the Last Dragon tomorrow. Me and Steph are going to go to the movies to see that because movies are still open out here. At least AMC is. So thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.